Right. You hearing me now? It looks like it's actually reacting to me now. And I can hear it better now. Um, seriously. Give me a second, too. I'm going to try this, even though it's going to cause everything to lag. Come on. Freaking Windows 10. well, the problem is. Also, welcome to the stream, Nixon. Thank you for letting me know all of that. Does it seem to be working now? Because the problem is, and it looks like it's working on my end, but I am not sure. So I'm gonna because I'm seeing the actual audio bar move up and down now. I should have looked at that before I even started the stream. Um, I just dang it. Well, that was a very very boring hour then, because it was just a lot of talk about programming and save files. Um, ah, well, it's good to know that we have sound now. Still, though, I guess I'm not going to be posting this thing because there was no sound for like an hour. Um, anyway, I guess that's what I get for upgrading to Windows 10. Of course. Well, I suppose just got to keep moving forward. So we're currently doing stuff with save files, getting autosave indexing to work so that I can have multiple autosave files that are an arbitrary number. So I could go in and say I want 3 autosaves to happen, or I can go in and say I want 10 autosaves to happen. So we've come up with, for the most part, the correct thing for that. So let's go autosave index, blah, 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 get all that stuff. That's okay. So let's call it autosave name then. I don't really need this, I don't think, do I? Find all references. Oh no, I do. Fair enough. Let's go to autosave. Uh, autosave name. I'm gonna call it autosave file name, I think. Public static string autosave file name. Get return autosave name. I gotta format that, so it's gonna be string.format. String.format. Oh my god, can't type. Autosave name, and then autosave index. My stream was falling over 2 minutes behind live and crashed eventually. Not sure if you said anything in between. Oh no, I was just complaining about upgrading to Windows 10. um, because I decided to do that finally, and lo and behold, a lot of problems. So we can go back to session now, and we should be able to say auto save file name. And I honestly think that that'll work. Oh, except we need to do session utility real quick and do, let's see, auto save index, path save directory. Here we go. Auto save index equals read file, file manager dot get file. Dang it. That's a lot of effort. Fine, I'll just do if not file manager dot file exists autosave index path. Actually, how was I doing this? because that could. Okay, it was just doing file exists. Well, then that's kind of useless actually. We'll do file manager dot save file 0, and then auto save index path, and then we will return 0. Else we'll do this actually. We'll say active save index is equal to that. Okay, because you can't call you can't write a file in the same frame that you try to parse it, because you'll get a error, a sharing's permission error. So I couldn't do that there. That's what I was starting to do, and I had to catch myself. So it's a nice system once you're used to it. Yeah, I guess. I'm just mad because I went through. I didn't do the Express installation. I actually did like the customized setup, and I explicitly said, do not reset all of my default applications. I want them to stay the same. And then as soon as I loaded it in, I clicked on Chrome to open it up, and it said, hey, looks like Chrome isn't your default browser. And I'm like, no, that is bullshit. I expressly told Windows not to make Edge my default browser. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how great that system is. Anyway, so we're going to cheat. We're going to do new game. Chris, yes, normal. We'll do left-handed and orange. Why not? Vary things out. Yes. Okay, so we get our loading. Uh-oh. Oh, no. This is a bad sign. Okay. It was... Oh, really? It lagged? That's the entire point of doing a asynchronous level loading, is that it shouldn't lag like... Anyway. That kind of worries me that I have a small hiccup like that. Well, I'll have to look into that. For the time being. Loading textures is a little frustrating. Although, fortunately, I don't remember if I did it on the stream, but I actually changed it so that loading textures is... it caches substances. So now, if you play the game, the first time you play it, you'll have a slightly longer loading time, but every time you play it afterwards, it's all cached to your disk. So that means that those loading screens are super fast the second time you enter a level. Which, it doesn't make as much of a difference for these first levels, but the later levels, it's definitely noticeable. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and cheat and move my character so that I don't have to go through all the cutscene stuff and skip all of that. And I'm just going to force my guy below deck. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. These don't have the ground on them. Oh, well, that phrase is too long. Okay, so I'm going to pause and then look at our save files. Oh. Crap, we got autosave 0. Right, it wouldn't do that. Because under session, crap. So I need to decide if I want to automatically increment whenever I reference this save file, or if I want to... Wait, that's kind of frustrating. No, I would prefer not to do that, actually. Okay. So... figure out how to do this properly. Because if I just use the autosave file name as it is right now, it's always going to return 0 without incrementing. But if I have it automatically increment, so every time you reference it, it goes up, then it would try to load. No, I don't want to do that. Because it would basically try to load it each time. So let's say that you have no autosaves, you make your first one, it should be called autosave 0. That means if I had it automatically increment, that means the next time you autosave, it would be set to autosave 1, which is good, but that means that if you want to load an autosave and you try to get the auto... Because the ultimate issue that we're trying to figure out at the end of the day is when the game autosaves, it should try to autosave in the correct order. So when you have autosave 0 done, the next autosave created should be autosave 1. When you have autosave 1 done, the next autosave should be autosave 2. And let's say I only wanted 3, that means I have 0, 1, and 2. Once I reach 2, and I increment up to 3, it should say, oh wait, I'm only supposed to have 3, set me back to 0. I guess that's fine. I don't think I ever need to load it. Let me see. Find all references. Let's see, autosave name. Let's find out where I was doing this. If I'm only doing it in 2 spaces. Okay. Well, then I guess I'm going to increment. I might as well. So int index equals autosave index. And then we will say index. And then up here we'll say autosave index plus plus. I mean, I think that's fine. So let's have this, and we'll say if let's see, active save index equals that. Here we are. If active save index is greater than or equal to autosave count, then active save index is equal to 0. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and, real quick, I'm curious, we're going to go back and we're going to take another look at some of the other games' save files. So let's go to My Games. Let's look at Skyrim, I think had a lot, right? Saves. Okay, so they do 1, 2, 3, not 0, 1, 2. So I should probably do a similar thing. And basically, let's make everything 1. Less than 1. Okay. And then instead, I'm going to say, instead of greater than or equal to, I'm just going to say greater than. Okay. So that should work. So now we should be able to go through and start everything up. And we'll also see if this overrides like it should. Yep, got a 0 there. So now let's test it out. Everything's saved up, correct? Yep. Start. We'll do new game. Do Chris. Yes. Normal mode. I'm going to go right-handed this time, and we'll be Violet. Yes, and yes. King. Mightinger. Interesting, though, on the caching front. Either it doesn't cache when you're in the editor, or, entirely possible, I set it to manually rebuild every time you're in the editor. Regardless. Just so that I know. But it looks like, no, I think it's, I don't know, it feels like it's going faster, but it's also hard for me to tell. Either way. I know that the caching at least works, because when I was doing playtesting earlier this week, on my crappy MacBook, man, it was amazingly fast the second time that it loaded the levels. It was just amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and just drag everything around. All right. Castle sewer. All right. Now let's see. Ha! Yes! Might want to lower the... Okay, let me check. I will check on my streaming settings. Alright, I'll lower it down to 2K. Oh, crap. Did that not actually change it? Alright. I mean, it's worth a shot trying it. I just adjusted it real time, so we'll see if that actually does anything. It was at 2.5K, so I need to mess around with my settings anyway. I've tried to set them up as best I can, but I haven't done like a thorough advanced check for my streaming. So hopefully it's working well for you, but it's, like you said, it sounds like you're having a lot of buffering, which is not good. So I'll have to look into that, seeing if I can make that more efficient. But yay! Our autosave files are here, and they are generating properly. Cool. So it looks like everything's correct too. Castle sewers. Spawn is castle sewer. That's correct. Although it doesn't look like it's spawning me in the right spot, but that's the correct thing. We have a random ID, which I need to... I need to change that entirely anyway. Cool. So our autosave seems to be working. But before we go too crazy, I'm going to go ahead and run back upstairs and see... I got stuck on the edge. And see if it'll do autosave 3. Oh, and actually, hold on. Was that autosave 0 and 1? Ah, dang it. Why was it autosave? Oh, because it started on 0, I think. Right. That was my fault, because I left the original file in there. So King Mario... Yeah, you can see that it cached. It was super fast. Oh, that's also because I... Oh, right. Because I also have it set up to do that. Oh, and I have some light map bleeding going on here. Not interesting. Oh, I'm going to have to redo that. Anyway, so let's stop. Yes! So we go 0, 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to be on 3 next. So here's the next test. The next autosave I load should be autosave 3. I think you have to restart the stream for it to take effect. Oh. I wouldn't think so, because I would think it'd be the application itself doing the streaming, not the server side stuff. So let's go start new game. We'll use that. Always good to have a Blade Runner reference in a stream. We'll go yellow. Of course, I'm a hero. So we're loading everything. What's the scope of this, by the way? As in, when are you done? What kind of world size playtime are you aiming for? So right now, the first 2 levels together probably take about... well, the last time I play tested them, they took about 15 minutes, but I've added some stuff since then, so it's probably, I'm guessing, going to lean more towards 20 minutes for the first 2 levels. Maybe 30, depending on the last puzzle, if people get confused with it. I need to play test it. And then after that, I have 5 other levels that I've already play tested, and those go about 45 minutes first time for really fast players. Well, actually, really fast players go about half an hour. And slower players can take about an hour on those. So that's about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on your play style. Not counting replayability through Sierra mode. And then after that, I still have 3 other stages that I'm aiming to take about half an hour each for people to complete. So I'm looking at about 3 to 4 hours, roughly. Maybe a little bit longer if it's your first playthrough. And depending on your play style. Um, and then let's see if that's gonna kill. Okay. And then of course there's always replay mode, or not replay mode, Sierra mode, which is like a hard mode. Castle sewer. Make sure that all works. Cool. Um, which has a remix of puzzles. You can actually make the game unwinnable if you do certain things. It's basically the game's hard mode. Um, so I'm gonna hit pause, and yes, we got autosave 3, and then we have autosave 1, which was modified just now. So yes, it's looping correctly. Yes. If we go to index, that should say 2. Ha ha! Victory. So we have our autosave system actually incrementing, and we can just give it an arbitrary amount for it to do. And then, yes! Arr! That makes me feel good. Okay. And we can get rid of that autosave 0 because it's not going to do anything. So that means that now we'll, might as well have 3. We'll be generous. I don't want to go too much further than that because in theory I could go apparently the same route that... what game did it? We looked at it earlier on the stream. There's one game that had... Soma. Soma has autosaves like every 5 feet apparently. But anyway, yeah, so the game itself, I'm aiming for 4 hours ish. First playthrough, maybe a little bit longer, and it's about half done, maybe 3/5 done right now. There's still a lot of art that needs to be done, but aside from that, everything's falling into place pretty well actually. Cool. So there's our autosave system. That makes me really happy. Let's see. Let's open up our notes. So we had a second autosave file, and that's not what we ended up doing, but that's sort of what we ended up doing. So, is there anything else save file related that we could do tonight? Let me get a drink real quick. Oh man, I have I had a cup of hot chocolate before the stream, and I was only about 2/3 done with it before I started the stream, and I haven't touched it. So now I have cold hot chocolate to drink at some point. Let's see. Is there anything with save files that I want to do while we're on the save file kick? Not particularly. Let me think. So we have our index.tnt or txt. Ugh. I would look into doing binary serialization for our save files. The only problem is that I don't know how to do that offhand, and I would prefer not to do that research in front of the stream. So, let's see. Let me think. Do I have anything in settings that needs to be fixed? No, all of that seems to be working pretty well. I guess I could change my file format. Like just add .sav or something like that, like or TQS for TextQuest save. I don't know. But it's fine for a .txt for now since that makes it easier to read. Man, I wish I had a little bit more time before the stream, or not. I wish I had a little more time. I wish I had been more critical in, or I wish I had structured my schedule better before the stream because there was a lot of cool stuff I wanted to do, but it requires research beforehand, and I can't do it on the spot without that prior knowledge. And doing any of that research would be very, very boring because it involves a lot of videos, so can't really do that. Dang it. I can't really think of anything, and I hate to end the stream so early, but it's only been an hour and a half. Though, admittedly, it's only been about 30 minutes of sound, so... let's see. Yeah, I guess that we're just gonna have to call it for now. Um, just because everything else is gonna be too unknown for me to do it live. I'll have to do a lot of experimentation and research before it. So we'll do some of that stuff I think on Monday then. Maybe Monday's for modeling, but we'll see what happens. So for now, um, yeah, who needs sound anyway? That's still that just annoys the crap out of me. Freaking Windows 10. And that's probably another thing I need to do actually is I need to dig into it to make sure that um, let's see. Huh. No. An encryption thing. Oh, I might take a look at that then. That's probably a good thing to start at, seeing if I want to do some sort of encryption. Well, thank you very much, Nixon. I'm going to have some fun experimenting with that after the stream. So, now that I have my fresh lead, I think that'll do it for the Saturday dev stream. In general, I think this is going to be sort of the format, sort of loose, one-off, very focused things that I want to try and do on Saturdays. So not quite as scattershot as Thursday's programming sessions, and not quite as then revert it to read into the program. Oh. Well, anyway, before I get too focused reading, because that'll make the stream boring again, because it'll all be quiet and me going, that's interesting. So yeah, I think this is going to be the format, like short, quick bursts of like intensely focused stuff on Saturdays, as opposed to more general stuff on modeling and texturing and programming. So hopefully we'll be able to make that a little bit more entertaining for everyone. But although we won't be doing it next week, or next weekend, because next weekend is the Global Game Jam. So I will be out for that. In any case, that'll do it for me tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you, Nixon, for pointing out that I didn't have any audio. And I will see you all next time.